If you're planning to start a Faceless channel in 2025, it has to be in one of these 17 niches, because I spent the last 30 days analyzing thousands of viral Faceless videos to figure out which niches and topics are the easiest to make money with. Because let's face it, there are so many channel ideas out there that have the potential to go massively viral and make you a ton of money, but most of them are hard for beginners because they require a ton of research, scripting, crazy editing, and all of that. But the 17 ideas that I'm about to share with you today, you can start these even if you've never made a single video before in your life. And the best part is that you can automate most of the work with them using AI. Now, we're going to start with the niches with the lowest earning potential and make our way up to the ones with the highest earning potential. And I'm also going to rank each niche 1 to 5 stars based on how beginner friendly they are and how much money they can make. Starting at number 17, we have the elderly advice channels, and I think this niche is pretty interesting. There's this channel right here called Advice for the Elderly that is literally printing money right now. They have 1,400 videos and 260,000 subscribers, and they're posting 3 or 4 videos per day, which is crazy. This is very easy to start. You basically don't need to know anything about elderly care because AI can generate most of this content. The videos are very simple to make, the scripts are basic, and they use AI voices. Now, there's also not a lot of ton of competition for this niche, and I literally just discovered it while doing research for this video. And then when it comes to money, they're making around $10,000 per month right now, and given 1.6 million views, I would say this is pretty accurate. So this looks like a great niche, right? Easy to start, no competition, $10,000 per month. But here's why I'm only giving this 1 star. I don't think this niche can stay monetized for very long. Looking at the recent YouTube update regarding monetization guidelines, this falls into a risky category. If you want to be in this game for many years, making money month after month, I don't think this is going to be a safe bet for the long term. However, if you're young and hungry like I was a couple of years ago, and you're willing to take the risk of getting demonetized, this might actually work for you. But for most people, I recommend staying away from high-risk niches like this one. And before we get into some better opportunities, I want to cover quiz channels. I'm also giving this 1 star from the beginning because I think these niches are literally spammy channels, right? This is the definition of AI slop in my opinion. I think I'm not gonna get some hate of this in the comment because I know a lot of people who are making money with this, and I definitely want to say I respect the hustle. But I think those videos are incredibly low quality to make, and everyone and their grandmother has tried a quiz channel. The income potential is not very high. However, there are exceptions. This channel right here, for example, this plan gets 1.7 million views, and according to estimates, they're making $8,000 to $9,000 per month, which I think is inflated, by the way. The RPM should be a little bit lower, so they're making less money. But just because I'm giving them 1 star doesn't mean they're completely worthless, right? If they're on this list, it means there is something right. This is just my ranking based on the ease and making money potential. So once again, quiz channels only get 1 star. Now let's talk about airport tips, and we're looking at channels like Global Flow because they make all sorts of airport and travel tips. This niche was dead for the longest time. Nobody could crack the travel niche, nobody could make money out of it, and a lot of people have tried to fail, including myself. However, about 12 months-ish ago, people started making these airport travel videos like things to never do before you board an airplane or things to never do at an airport. They are relatively easy to make, the thumbnails are basic, the scripts are simple, and can be generated with AI as well. When it comes to competition, I would say it's medium. There are some channels doing this, but the total addressable market isn't very large at the same time. You're not gonna binge watch a bunch of these airport tip videos, right? You watch one that interests you and then you're done. I'm saying this because it leads to moderate income potential. I would say if you want to make $3,000 to $5,000 per month in 6 months, this could work. But it's not going to be the easiest to scale because it's hard to differentiate and you need to be creative to stand out. And because of all of this gets 2 stars. Now, let me show you something much better. The next niche is what I call Vintage Nation. This might sound boring, but hear me out. This is a real opportunity. The channel that I want to show you is called British Time Capsule. It talks about the old days in Britain, how things were back then, right? This is similar to the Vintage American channels, which I'm a huge fan of if you already know. These channels are relatively easy to make for one reason. They've already been done in America. If you look at channels like America Before or American Rewind, you can literally take what those channels have done and apply it to countries like UK, Germany, Italy, Spain. This is an interesting arbitrage opportunity. You take something that's already proven to work, you bring it to another market, and potentially make a ton of money. The competition is very low. I had the opportunity to coach someone with a similar channel, and they started making money within the first 60 days. There are many people doing this, and I'm not sure if UK is still an opportunity, but again, you have Germany, Italy, Spain. There are tons of countries out there you can cover, and while this channel particularly isn't making a ton of money, money, 300,000 views and about $1,000 to $2,000 per month, I think it's really easy to do with very little competition, and it has the opportunity to grow really big. So for this reason, it gets 4 stars. Up next, let's talk about hip hop daily and similar rap channels. If you're passionate about hip hop and culture, these videos are going to be very easy to make. If you're not, like me, it's going to be really hard, which creates a gap for competition, right? So again, it's easy for the right people and pretty hard for everyone else. The videos are simple compilation of events with someone commenting on them, and because there are a lot of rappers and a lot of things happening in this world, there's an increasing amount of content you can cover. At the same time, however, there is a lot of competition. A lot of channels and a lot of people are passionate about this space, and the RPM isn't going to be very high. So I'd say this gets 2 stars. Again, it's relatively easy if you're passionate about it, but the competition is high and you can't really make serious money unless you go viral. Scary story channels. This is an interesting one because one of the very first people that I coach had a channel in this niche, and he was the first person I helped to get to 100,000 subscribers and get one of the silver YouTube plaques. It's relatively easy to make these videos, especially now with AI. Look at this channel right here called Just Creepy. They're making 1-hour-long videos, and I bet they're not spending a lot of money on production. You can use AI for most of the content creation process. You have a lot of topics to cover, different stories, different scary events, but because the niche has been around for so long, there's also a lot of competition. However, for the right people, if you're passionate about this and you find an interesting angle, these are the videos that people binge watch. It's very easy to get people hooked. Just Creepy is getting 500,000 views and making around $5,000 per month. This is relatively easy, you don't need to think much about it, and you can make $5,000 per month, so this gets 3 stars. Next up, we have explainer channels. I'm sure you've seen this before if you've done any research into faceless channels. These videos are very easy to make. Most of them use simple stick figure animations or basic graphics like this channel right here called Paint Explainer. The scripts can definitely be written with AI. You can use 11 Labs for voiceovers. The editing, it's also very basic, and you can make the thumbnails in Canva. Now, when it comes to competition though, there is a ton. Since they started getting popular about 12 months ago, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of explainer channels out there. People have sub-niched into everything. Animal extinction explainer, sport explainer, financial explainer. However, the income potential is still very high. If you find a sub-niche that pays well with a high RPM, like this channel right here called Explain 101, which explains complex financial topics, you can make serious money. This channel, for example, is making $5,000 per month with 800,000 views, so I would say it's even more than that given their RPM. One thing to keep in mind though, you can also make money with brand deals. When you have an audience interested in financial topics, you can make thousands of dollars per month from sponsorships and affiliate marketing. So overall, the explainer niche also gets 3 stars. Now let's talk about something I really like and not a lot of people are doing: animal channels. But now you're boring top 10 cat videos. I'm talking about channels like Grizzly Tales. They cover crazy stories about grizzly attacks and dangerous situations where things can go really wrong. This is such a unique concept that the competition is extremely low. These videos are super easy to make. This channel makes 30 to 40 minute videos, mostly using AI, and I haven't seen literally any other channel doing this, so this is a massive opportunity. Look at how much money they make. For about 500,000 views, they're getting around $3,000, which is not bad at all, especially with no competition. And to give you another example, probably the owner of this channel also owned this channel called Sharks Beware, which is the same concept about sharks. They're getting more views and still making around $3,000. So if you're a beginner and you like animals and you think this concept is interesting, I would recommend checking this out. I'm giving this 4 stars because I think it's a really good opportunity. Car channels. I'm going to keep it short because you probably know the drill. Cars are everywhere. This is always going to be a good money-making opportunity because it's relatively easy to make those videos. But more importantly, in 2025 and into 2026, there are more and more sub-niches appearing. The one I want to show you today is called Car Care Clues. They're making around $20,000 per month right now, covering videos about car tips, and that's amazing. It has a ton of competition though because it's very easy to make, but the income opportunity balances it out. You can make money from AdSense, and I personally had a channel called Vintage Vehicles that I took from $0 to $17,000 per month in 8 months. And you can also make money from brand deals. Overall, this is like the S&P 500 of Faceless YouTube channel. Safe, reliable, 3 stars. TV show channels. When you think about TV shows, you have the popular ones like Hell's Kitchen, and there are a lot of interesting channels covering them, but I think this opportunity is somehow untapped. There are way more TV shows that people could cover that would get millions of views. An example I want to show you is this channel called Atlantis. They cover a TV show called Oak Island, and I wasn't aware of this show before, but they made really good money because they were the first ones to cover it. These videos are relatively easy to make as well, especially if you get someone who's a fan of the show. You can do the majority of them very cheaply using AI, and the biggest advantage though is low competition. You can be the first one to cover a show with relatively easy to make videos. channels. This doesn't have huge money making potential. I don't think you can make $10,000 to $20,000 a month consistently, but if you want to make $3,000 to $5,000 per month, this could be a $40,000 to $50,000 per year channel. Finding a new show will be difficult though, and being the first one will also be challenging, so I'm ranking this 2 stars right now. But if you find opportunity and you have the chance to be the first one to cover a new show, this can absolutely become a 5-star. Speaking of 5-star niches, this one gets 5 stars from the beginning. If I were to start a new channel today, this would probably be it. This channel has extremely easy to make content, it can be done for relatively cheap, and you can use AI as well. It's literally hidden in plain sight, so the competition is almost non-existent because it's not sexy. However, I think the money making potential here is insane. So what could this be? It's vintage movies and TV shows. The channel I want to show you today is called Iconic Star Rewind. They have 54,000 subscribers with only 100 videos, and look at how much money they're making, around $17,000 per month, which I think is just insane. I also think this can grow much bigger because there are more shows and more movies you can cover, and again, there's virtually no competition, so I'm really excited for this one. 5 stars, definitely one of my favorites. Also, stand-up comedy channels. I literally haven't seen this before. This is the first time I've discovered this, and as I said, I spent weeks putting together this list and this video, and this is the first time. This is one of the newest channels that I found, which I think makes for an attractive opportunity. How easy it is to make those videos? I think relatively easy if you're a massive stand-up comedy fan. If you know all the artists, you know where to look. Otherwise, it could become a little bit harder because you have to find all of this footage and combine the clips together, or you need a very good editor. Competition is very low. I see hundreds or thousands of channels every month, and I have not seen this one before. Income potential is definitely decent. This channel page stand-up right here only has 45 videos, started very recently, and they're making $10,000 per month. So if you're passionate about comedy, if you're into stand-up, this might be a nice opportunity for you. I'm giving this 3 stars because I don't think many of these channels can exist, but for the right people, go get it. Plane channels. This is very interesting as well, and I bet you have not seen this before. The channel I want to show you is called Plane Curious. They make videos about modern-day plane curiosities, taking an airplane and explaining how different things with it work, right? This is definitely not the easiest niche though. There are technical specifications to be covered, and even if you're writing everything with AI, you still need to fact check the information, right? There's not a lot of competition, and it's not just one example. You can do a ton of sub-niches with planes. You can make plane crash videos, vintage planes, military planes, etc. And I haven't seen many people doing this. I would say this niche can easily make $5,000 to $10,000 per month, and more importantly, it can do that very consistently. You see, there are 2 types of channels. Channels with insanely high income potential but unpredictable, where you can make $50,000 in 1 month and $1,000 the next, and more boring channels where you make $5,000, $5,000, $5,000 every single month, and they're more consistent, right? This one, the plane channel, is definitely the more consistent type. One more thing that I want to mention here, if you want to sell the channel one day, this will have serious value because it's a very high level topic. So for all of those reasons, the plane niche gets 4 stars. Now I'm really willing to bet that 99% of you haven't seen this niche before. It's basically preparing for survival or the apocalypse. Let's call this the prepper niche. This channel right here, Prepper Priority, has over 100,000 subscribers, and they post daily videos. These are doomsday videos, like you need to stock your shelves and you need to prepare for this and that. What's crazy though is that they get tons of views, almost 1 million views monthly, and they make around $5,000 per month according to the estimates. I think their RPM can be even higher, so they could potentially be maybe even making more money. The videos are relatively easy to make. They're very long though, 30 to 40 minutes, but AI can do them for insanely cheap. And there's also not a lot of competition. A few smaller channels here and there, but nothing crazy. I'm giving this 3 stars, but if you want to do something that not a lot of people are doing and you don't have to worry about competition because this isn't sexy, this might be your safe bet. Up next, we have a slightly better opportunity. This channel, Food Menu right here, I would say this is in the food and beverage niche. I think it's very interesting because they started very recently, and they make interesting videos giving parents warnings about different fast food chains, what's safe, what's not safe, and I could literally see this being a TV program back in the day. This is really smart though because the videos are relatively easy to make, especially with AI. You can do the research, find the articles or news publications, and turn them into literal video scripts just using AI. There's not a lot of competition, but I think there could be many of these channels out there, so you can create multiple sub-niches in this niche. This particular channel gets just under 1 million views and makes $6,000 per month according to estimates. It's really easy to do, not a lot of competition, and it can make good money, so 4 stars. Now to close out what I said in the beginning, that I give you the niches from the easiest to hardest and lowest income to highest income potential. Number 16 is this channel called How Money Works. This is a business documentary channel, and I'm giving it 5 stars from the start. This is not easy by any means. Anyone who says you can make this type of video with AI is literally lying to you straight up. However, if you're passionate about business, you read a Wall Street Journal, you read business publications, and you are connected to this world, this can be your best opportunity to make a lot of money, because these are not the easiest channels to run by any means. Not many people are making them, so the competition is very low. I'm personally watching these channels, my friends are watching them too, and we find ways to better them over the years, but ultimately they require a lot of time and effort, which is not something a lot of people are willing to allocate. The income potential is also insane. Just from AdSense revenue alone, this channel is making $40,000 per month at a minimum. And I'm pretty sure that's not even their biggest revenue stream. They have 1.5 million subscribers, and the audience is so valuable, so they must be making at least that much, another $40,000 from brand deals, and maybe even more from affiliate income. So channels like this one can be million-dollar opportunities, and it doesn't include enterprise value. If you think about how much a channel like this can for, I would easily say 1 million, maybe 2 million, even 3 million if they position it correctly. So this is an amazing opportunity, but it's hard to do. However, if you're passionate about business, you are high level, and you want to go full time on this, I definitely recommend this. And you'd get me as a subscriber from day one. So let me know in the comments. And here we go, number 17. This is the crown jewel of today's list. If you've made it this far, shout out to you. I think you're in for a massive opportunity, and this is the real estate niche. Let me show you what I mean. I found this channel called Discover the Nation, and it started posting very recently. These videos are insanely easy to make. You just need to do the research using ChatGPT, then use 11 Labs for voiceover, and editing is very basic. The thumbnails can be done with Midjourney, then you just need to put some text in Canva, and this checks all the boxes. It doesn't have much competition. I found maybe 2 or 3 channels doing the same thing, but this is relatively a new opportunity. RPM is probably the highest you'll ever see. If we check the analytics, the RPM is reported to be $10, and they're making $13,000 to $14,000 right now. But especially in Q4, I would say this could easily go to $15, $20 per 1,000 views. So given 1 million views, this could be making $15,000 to $20,000 here very soon. Easy to make videos with not a lot of competition as of me recording this video. So this gets at least 5 stars. So these were the 17 niches that can make you rich in 2025. But if you don't know how to execute on them properly, you are not going to make the money that you saw these channels making. So if you want to learn the step-by-step process on how to start and scale a profitable faceless channel, I have a free video for you. Check it out right here.